All right. Well, thank you guys for coming. I know it's been a while since we've seen each other in this capacity, so it's good to be back with you. Today's an exciting day for us, adding four more players to a class that we're already extremely excited about. 9 of those young men showed up here in the winter and have started the spring, and really excited about the young men that made the decision to come here today. We're still waiting on one tonight, and we'll see if there's a 5th member of the class or not. But excited, really believe in the overall vision, and I think at the end of the day, these are all young men that made the decision to come here for the right reasons. They wanted to be a part of something special. They wanted to be a part of a university that stands for something and a football program on the rise, and we're excited to have them. So I know you guys have questions. I'll go ahead and answer.
Yeah, Matt, you added another defensive lineman, Garmin Randolph. You had to fight off a whole bunch of schools for him. What do you expect from him?
Well, I thought Evan Cooper did a great job, and Eric Joseph, but Evan did a great job of managing that process. He's someone that came to us late. He's a tight end by trade. Most people recruited him as a tight end, and he might end up doing that for us someday. The more versatile you are, the better. But we just have a vision of a guy that's 6'7" that can run, who, with the right development, we think can be a special physical athlete, and really bring pass rush, to the team. Garmin's a really good young man. Was a triple jump athlete. And at his size, as he develops and fills out, I'm excited about what he's going to be able to do. His brother plays football. His brother was the defensive MVP at the Citadel. His father was a football player, and so he comes by it honestly. But it's hard to find that length, and I think our guys have a great vision of what those guys can do.
How about Elijah Ellis?
Elijah's a young man that came to our camp, and I thought was as talented as anyone I've probably ever seen at that age. 6'6", 37-inch arms, which are like freakishly long arms. Had a lot of academic work to do, and so that's why we didn't sign him in December. He's been committed to us for a long time, and to his credit, man, he's worked hard. Did a great job on his standardized test, and he'll be here. And it's great to have someone coming from Paris, Texas. They had a great season this year, and I think he's an offensive lineman. We're hoping that we don't have to play him right away, that we can give him some time. But I think he's just going to be a huge, huge man, and really like his demeanor, like his personality. I think he'll be a great offensive lineman for us.
Given what y'all were able to do in December, what was kind of the mindset and approach you wanted for these guys coming in here in February?
Well, we went out and got Noah. We felt like coming out of the bowl game, with Connor getting hurt. Connor tore his ACL on that block kick. We have a lot of confidence in John and Jay, but we thought, this would be a great time for us to go out and recruit a kicker as well, just to have competition. And so that kind of took one spot, and then we felt like, hey, we need another defensive end, which is where kind of Garmin came in. Elijah doing a great job academically was awesome for us. And then, Yusuf, someone that's been committed to us for a long time. We have a lot of confidence in him, and him cementing the deal today was really big for us. So it was really, for me, about just finding the best available players, but trying to address a need or two, always trying to find more offensive linemen, and then, pass rushers, and then a guy who can kick it through the uprights.
Obviously, a majority of your class was already locked up, but with the few that you still added in today, was your ties to the open NFL jobs, was it a benefit, was it a detriment, or did it affect anything at all?
Well, it certainly makes a lot of questions. We're doing junior days, and people, the question sort of is, hey, Coach, how long are you going to be here? As I've said to guys, and I hate talking about me, what I'm saying, but as I've said to guys, I think if you want to go to the NFL and you're going to a place where there's lots of assistant coaches who either played or coached in the NFL, if you're going to a place where NFL teams are coming in to talk to the head coach, then, probably a pretty good place to help you get where you want to get to. And, if I didn't go back to New York, to my hometown, to do it, I don't know that I'll do it, So, that was an honor, but really that an NFL team would talk to me, but it was really an honor for our staff and for our players. And, I think it just speaks volumes about what the guys here have done. So people ask questions about it. But you know what? In today's college football, coaches don't hang around one way or the other real long. Either you're getting on your way to getting fired or guys take another job. I just think that I found a job here at Baylor that really fits me, and I think it's a university that fits me, and it's a place that I certainly hope that I have a chance to be at for a long time. And so I've been really honest with people about that, and I think when people have asked me, they've appreciated it, and so I think people understood it, but it's certainly something I've had to address.
Only having to sign 5 guys, or only having the room for 5 guys now that most of us locked up, how does that change what you do in these couple of weeks or a couple of months that you have? Is it more 2020 stuff that you guys work on?
Yeah, 2020s, and then just continuing to get around the state of Texas and visit with people and talk to people and see coaches, go to, the Texas High School Coaches Association, had 8, regional meetings this past Saturday. We were at 5 of them. So doing 2020 work, but also it's really important to us that, we recruit Texas the right way, and that, they're calling it straight line recruiting, where we recruit directly through the head coach. And so we're trying to make sure we go out and build relationships with coaches so that, we can make sure that we do it at the highest level we possibly can. So we've tried to, that's been a real focus for us over the last month.
That's something that straight line recruiting is something that Coach Fisher has talked about, that a bunch of other coaches in Texas have talked about. Why is that such a focus, you think, for head coaches in y'all's position?
Well, I mean, it's a topic of conversation, so I think a lot of people are talking about it. When I came to Texas, when I hired Joey and when I hired David and when I hired Sean, they were saying, hey, this is the way to do it, and I think it is the right way. I'm the son of a high school coach. And so, no one knows more about a player than his high school coach, especially here in Texas where, all the athletes, all the young people are so blessed to have the amount of coaches in-house that we have. And so we wanted to do it that way. And I think we started that way from day one. I think it's why we've been able to build the relationships we've been able to in this short amount of time. Because we don't offer kids without letting the coach know. We don't go around the head high school coach. We want to honor that position, and I think it's something that the Texas High School Coaches Association started the conversation about straight line recruiting, just making sure we preserve what we have. Sometimes when you have something great, if you don't take care of it, it can dilapidate. And high school football in the state of Texas is awesome, and recruiting in Texas is awesome. And so it's just been an effort to maintain doing it the right way. And I'm proud that that's the way we've been doing it even before.
Matt, particularly with the additions today, do you feel like you met all the needs that you had going into recruiting?
I don't know if I think you're supposed to say yes. You feel like you met all the needs you have, but I don't know that necessarily that I do. I think we took some positions where we took the best players available. So maybe we have a lot of running backs on the board, but. What we try to do is we try to find versatile athletes. I meet with guys today, and I have guys that are sophomores and freshmen worried about what position they're playing. My goal is to make sure that every player is developed by the time they're a senior, so that they have their best year, their senior year, and go off and play in the NFL. So, would I love maybe one more defensive end? Maybe would I love maybe one more wide out? Yeah, probably. But I just like trying to go out and get the best available players, and then letting fate, take its toll. We evaluate the players, and we give them stars and rankings and all that based upon where they are as a high school junior and senior. Well, that takes a lot of maturity into it. A lot of other guys just aren't quite as physically developed yet, and then they have this jump in the next 2 or 3 years. And so there's maybe an area too that we haven't addressed. I think in the last 2 years, bringing in 2 specialists, and I think we've tried to do as good a job as possible of getting the roster, whole. So in spring, we'll see if there's a position we say, hey, maybe we should have gotten one more guy here.
What do you see from Yusuf Terry? I guess he's kind of a tall receiver.
Yeah, Yusuf's tall, physical. I think the biggest thing for he was a really, really accomplished ice hockey player. There's a tremendous public ice hockey league in the city of Philadelphia. It's really pretty cool. His grandfather works at the local rink, and Yusuf's a competitor. I think the biggest thing you can say about him is he's tough, physically tough, mentally tough, and so I think I like the edge that he'll bring. He's competitive, he's athletic, but I think the biggest thing is his best days are ahead of him. I think he'll get here and he'll really shine in our strength program. He'll get big, he'll get strong, he'll get fast, but he'll always have that edge, that toughness that that I think separates him from a lot of other guys.
With guys like Yusuf, and then you going into Georgia to get players, what do you feel your national brand is like right now? Because a lot of the focus is Texas, but going into wherever you kind of want and getting guys.
Yeah, I think we've been able to go places and sell the vision for what we think the program can be and what we think it should be. And I think there's a lot of kids that grew up really liking Baylor. A lot of guys that grew up, wanting to be Robert Griffin. And I think as we go out there's a lot of people that, whether it's the faith-based, the Baptist aspect of it that appeals to their family, or the opportunity to come here and get an elite education. Those things have appealed to people. And then as we've just said, hey, just come visit. You can come visit. Maybe you love it. Maybe you don't. I think a lot of people come and they leave and they say, wow, I really liked that place. And so I think it's not for everyone all around the country, and we don't want to major in that. We're trying to stay here. But, when there's a position we need that we just weren't able to get that year here in state, we're going to go out of state and see if we can find somebody. And I think a lot of people all across the country have come and visited and said, wow, what a really special university this is to be in that, even size-wise. Do I want to go to a big school? Like I went to Penn State. Do I want to go to a 40,000 student school? Do I want to go to you have a chance to come here and be around 17,000, be in that mid-major, still tier 1 research university? Just opportunities to do so many different things. And I think when we share what we're doing, academically, and then they see the progress athletically, I think a lot of people say, I'm going to take a chance on going to Baylor. And when they come meet our players are saying, hey, it's been a good decision for me. So I think nationally, people are recognizing what's here.
2 years in with the early signing period, you still like everything about that?
Yeah, the early signing period this year with the bowl game was probably as hard 3 weeks as I've ever been a part of. And I thought our coaches, I stand up here a lot and I talk about the players, but I thought our coaches did an absolutely elite job of recruiting, of getting out there and not just recruiting, but doing it the right way. And I'll say this, I thought our families, one thing that we think we do special, that we make special in recruiting is every player, every family member comes over to our house. Every recruit comes over to our house. Julie, that's not probably easy on Julie, but she does it. Our coaches, their wives, their kids are at all the different events. Because when people come here, we want them to be a part of our family. We want them to feel that the relationships that have already been built here. And so that's a lot coming to the season, bowl game prep, packed into a short amount of time. And I thought our coaching staff, our coaching staff's families did an elite job, as well as a lot of people on campus that go out of the way to help us in recruiting. So I love the early signing period. I think it's great. I think it allows kids to have a chance to make their decision and go back to just being a high school student, and go back to just being a teenager again. And it allows us to turn our focus to the future and also on our team. And so it just feels right to me. And if a kid doesn't sign early, then, like whether it's, these 4 guys or maybe the 5th, they then have a chance to make their decision here now.
Have y'all set a start of spring drill?
Yeah, I think it's like the 5th, 6th, and 7th. We're going to do 3 days before spring break, and then we're going to finish after spring. Then we'll go after spring break and finish on the 13th.
Yeah, coming off a bowl victory, and then now your 3rd recruiting class. Where do you feel like you are in terms of maybe building it to where you want to take this program?
We're moving. I walk around. I've been on the road so much. I got back yesterday. I walked into the workout. I can't remember if it was Monday or yesterday, and I see what some of our guys look like, and I'm like, man, they're getting big. They're getting strong. I saw James Lynch. I'm sitting there yesterday talking to Blake Lynch and Clay Johnston and Ross, and the maturity and the mentality that's prevalent. We were looking at some of our young players. We did, guys who showed up in June, and it's January. Josh Landry's put on 26 pounds. Connor Galvin's put on 18 pounds. Jackson Kimball's put on 26 pounds. You're talking about guys that show up at 276 and they're 302 already through their first off season. So, we're making progress. The guys are working really, really hard, but there's a lot more work ahead of us. And I think we've got to the point where the roster is somewhat stabilized. This senior class that's coming up, there should be some juniors right underneath them that have had to be filled in by some other guys that didn't get a chance to redshirt. So to me, this next year's team will be dependent upon if our senior class is ready to take the reins and really lead, and if those guys that are true juniors, if they're ready to now be upperclassmen. So we'll work on that really hard over the next 4 weeks, spring break, and then after that.
Any update on safeties coach vacancy that you guys have? Have you made decisions on that?
Yeah, we've kind of moved some things around. Am I okay to announce that now, or are you going to get upset with me?
It's your show. I just work here.
Would you prefer I waited, or?
Might as well go ahead and do it.
Okay.
Saves me trying to press release. It's already done. They already have it.
Yeah. So I promoted Marcus Satterfield. Who, Marcus had been my offensive coordinator, has been a head coach. He worked in recruiting with us this year. He's one of us. He knows how we do things, and he'll be the third guy in offense who's been an offensive coordinator for me. So those guys all bear the frustration of working for me. But promoting Marcus on the offensive side of the ball, and then naming Mike Saravo as the special teams coordinator, which he basically did last year with Francis, making that title official. And then I'm going to make Joey McGuire the assistant head coach and move him over to defense. Joey's been a great head coach, always been more of a defensive-minded guy, and I think he'll bring tremendous energy and juice to the defense. And so, we have a good staff. We have good people. We lost a couple guys, even some younger guys, Damir Shaw and Matt Lombardi, Cedric Whitaker, guys that were really integral in behind the scenes. And so I just wanted to make sure as often as I can, promote from within and keep trying to build sort of our way of doing things.
What will Joey do on defense?
I'm probably not 100% sure yet whether he'll go be with the outside linebackers or the defensive line. I have a lot of confidence in Joey. I lean on him a lot, and so I think him moving to assistant head coach. Francis was an assistant head coach for me, was amazing, and I think Joey will pick that up and do a great job. And again, I just think that he'll bring a lot of juice and energy to our defense, which is exciting.
So who will work with the cornerbacks then? Would it be
Glenn Thomas is still working with the quarterbacks.
corner, I'm sorry.
Evan Cooper will work with the corners, and Phil will still with the safety. So, Coop had been. I hired him last year as a 10th assistant to go work in the secondary, and then he just kind of gravitated down because we had some developmental guys. But he'll go back to his natural position, working with the corners, and Phil with the safeties.
With the success you've had in recruiting, how much does fan support, game day atmosphere at McLean Stadium, all of that, how much does that factor in?
I think it's a lot of the reason why we've been able to get the players that we've been able to get. I think we had a lot of recruits, I think, come to the bowl game as well, and I just think when people come and see what game day's like at McLean, when they see the support, when they see the Baylor line, when they see the students, when they see the amount of people that came to the bowl game, when they feel the energy, they feel the juice, that in and of itself is a brand. And we all want to be associated with winning, and we all want to be associated with excitement. And game days here, hopefully we do a lot of winning, and it's really exciting. And so there's nothing more important for us to continue the momentum and to continue to improve recruiting than to make sure we have an elite home game atmosphere and that we fill the stands and we're as loud and as raucous a place as possible, especially with 7 home games next year. I mean, what an exciting happening. And so I think that'll be really, really important, as it has been, to continue to make it where we want recruits to come to our games and come to our games, see what we have going on here. And our fans have been awesome so far, and I thought the bowl game was just, to be on the road and have that atmosphere was elite.
What do you see from, I know it's been early and maybe just in off-season type stuff, but what have you seen from the 9 guys that have come in?
I haven't really seen anything from them because I've been on the road, but I know they're doing a good job. And, a couple guys, sometimes you come in from high school, you got to tweak here. And so really between our training staff and doctors and all tough, a lot of the spring is making sure, guys who've had like a chronic hamstring or guys who've had a bad whatever, making sure that we're getting them as healthy as we possibly can this first off season and watching them get stronger. But they're a good group of young people. They're working hard. I think Blake Bettier is a mid-year offensive lineman. I think he got here like at 285. He's already like 297, So they're enjoying the meal plans. They're enjoying eating. They're enjoying working. And they seem like workers. I come in here and I see Niadre all hours of the day, just trying to do more football. And so they're a hungry group, and that's what you want. You want to bring people in that aren't along for the ride, that they're here to declare their destiny. And I see that from those guys.